Hello everybody, my name is José Pinto. I'm the website designer here at Rubin Observatory and this is my lightning story. I will start with something about myself. I was born in 1984 in San Bernardo, which is a town near Santiago de Chile. I am one of 5 siblings. I am a happy and positive person. I love traveling. And I also love music a lot. What I do for Rubin Observatory is really a humble attempt to match the amazing discoveries our observatory will make with design. And I can provide a visual example of what I mean. If in one side of the graphic we can illustrate how amazing science is, which is super amazing, and on the other hand, how most of the science websites look, then we might find a mismatch. We hope to provide a website that comes closer, hoping that this should also help us reach a broader audience and finally engaging with them. For our public-facing website, we are using a design strategy based on what we have learned from very successful education websites out there. We will use prominent callouts and wide spaces for our users to find what they want to find in a few seconds. Because on the internet, every second counts, and when websites are too busy, our experiences might become similar to Finding Waldo. So instead of this, we want this. And that's the main reasoning behind our design choices, and we will combine them with accessibility criteria, a beautiful interface, and they will also be mobile friendly, as you can see in this simulation. Unfortunately, I can't show you what we have designed yet, but some of you participated in the surveys we sent out. Thank you for that. We're using that information to come up with the best logo possible, and hopefully we all can be proud of it. And that's it. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for listening my lightning story, and have a great day.
Hi, my name is Nicole Auza, and I'm an English-Spanish interpreter and translator. Originally from Santiago, but have lived in the region of Coquimbo for more than 10 years and love it. I've worked as a bilingual administrative assistant at Rubin Observatory in Chile since February 2016, previously working at the CTIO Library and universities and institutes teaching communicational English. I'm mom to Amanda and Nico, and our favorite thing to do as a family is go to the beach, eat fresh seafood, and barbecue when the sun comes out on the weekends. A fun fact about me is that I lived and went to school in really cool places in the US, such as New York. In New York, I lived in Long Island, but got to know the entire state pretty well, from Montauk all the way to Bear Mountain in upstate. At elementary school, I joined orchestra and played the violin for 5 years. In Washington state, we really learned to enjoy outdoor activities, especially while watching my dad perform. I have lived incredible experiences in so many different places because of my dad's passion for music. One of my favorite places would have to be the Big Island of Hawaii. There, I lived in beautiful Ahualoa and went to Honoka'a High School before coming back to Chile. So, what do I do for Rubin? Within the admin team, I support our local Chilean staff and visitors in activities which range from translations, purchases, travel, and documentation, to updating our digital signage and managing the BF project website. I'm the admin and communications coordinator for the base facility addition project, which has seen the refurbishing of the ex-CTIO scientific building, demolition of the motel, relocation of the warehouse, and finally, the construction of the base facility building and data center on the Oro Recinto in La Serena. Something you may not know is that I provide simultaneous interpretations in meetings from English to Spanish and Spanish to English. Because there are no long pauses for the interpreter to stop and think during simultaneous interpretation, it allows for a smooth experience for listeners as they don't need to wait to understand a message. On the downside, simultaneous interpretation can be stressful for the interpreters because they have to do their best in a very limited time, and they usually don't know the context until they'll hear it at the meeting or conference. Also, simultaneous interpreters must try to keep the tone and choice of words of the speaker, which adds even more stress. This is a technique I acquired years ago but hadn't really practiced in a while, so it's definitely been a challenge. Thankfully, my meeting participants are patient and helpful when technical difficulties arise. Overall, I am grateful to be part of this team and feel proud of what I've learned and the skills I continue to develop while working for the Rubin Observatory project. Mainly, I like helping my colleagues as much as possible and appreciate their collaboration and good vibes. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Glenaver Charles-Emerson. I'm going to be speaking to you regarding my Lightning Stories 2020. I'm going to tell you a bit about my professional background. I'm from Oxford, England, and I have a degree, and I've worked in a variety of corporations, and I have a lot of specialty in various fields. I have a lot of fun facts. I'm married for 24 years to Marvin Emerson, and I have two daughters, Chantal and Keontae. I now live in Tucson, Arizona. It's very warm here, but it's very nice. I take a lot of pictures, and that's one of the sceneries of the sunset. This is a picture of the headquarters of Rubin Observatory, and that's where I work. I'm excited working with a device international team, all working to ensure the telescope in Chile is 100% operational. I've created a calendar which I observe every morning, and it helps me to keep track of what's going on, and it's also open to all the telescope and site team so that they can see the events that's going on for the day and who's on vacation and how to connect for meetings. Everything is pretty much color coded. The red is for vacations and out of office. The blue is for meetings that is going on, and orange or green, it would be when there's holidays. So as you can see up here, on the 15th of August is a Chilean holiday. I read all of the monthly status reports that I receive every month for Jeff Barr to compile and complete his overall report for the month. And one of the things that I like to do is, once I've reviewed the reports, I also look at a lot of the pictures which I will use to display into the gallery. Here's one of the pictures that I use, which is a coast-in Chambers that's left from Tucson and it's heading its way into Chile. That's another picture right there. A typical day for me at my headquarters is that I use the calendar quite a lot because we have a lot of meetings, and I use Doodle Poll, and I also offboard and onboard staff, and I use Confluence and DocuShare to put various documents there. Right here I use Confluence, and what I use in Confluence for at the moment is I track ongoing contractors and I review the licenses to make sure that I basically observe to see if there's any that needs to renew. And I also use DocuShare, and I use DocuShare to put the monthly reports that I just spoke about a few minutes ago. The best thing about my job is that I work with a variety of international staff, and we're all working towards the mission and the vision of the telescope. Now that it's in Chile, there's a lot that's going on over there. At the moment, we're all working remotely, but once everything gets back into operation, it's going to be all hands on deck. Thank you for listening.
My name is Kevin Siruno, and this is my lightning story of who I am and what I do for Rubin Observatory. In terms of a professional background, this is actually my first job. I started off as a student intern while I was still attending the University of Arizona. I graduated in May 2019 with a degree in systems engineering, and shortly after that, I was hired on full-time as a systems verification engineer. A little bit about me: I was born and raised in California. I enjoy doing anything outdoors, like hiking, climbing, snowboarding, fishing, camping, and all that. I'm really into sports, so my favorite teams are the Lakers, the Dodgers, and the Raiders. As I mentioned, I'm a systems verification engineer. And if I had to summarize in one sentence what I do, I would say my primary role is developing verification plans and test cases in which we use to verify our system level and subsystem level requirements. Typically, you could find me working in Jira, which was where we capture all of our requirements. As you can see, some of the requirements have coverage and a lot more don't. Our overall goal within systems engineering is to trace all the uncovered requirements to test cases and show how they are being verified. Within these test cases, we specify things like how the requirements are being verified and by what steps. So part of my job is working with the sitcom team in order to determine a game plan or a test procedure in which we can verify the requirements that we trace to these specific test cases. And then also executing these test cases, following the steps that we have predetermined, and recording the actual results. And actually, that's one of my favorite parts about this job so far. My favorite memory was back in December of last year during the camera cable wrap and camera rotator integration event. I had spent the months prior preparing and writing out the steps for this testing event. And then I actually got to fly out to Chile and be part of the group of people that executed these steps. So on the right, I've included a picture of the team that was involved during this testing integration event. And then on the left, I've included a picture of my test plan and report in which I captured all the steps and all the actual results, any failures, any recommended actions, and just some overall comments as a result of that integration test. Something that people might not know about me is that I actually run the telescope and site control board. And this is just where we document any changes that we might need to make to any of the requirements and capture any of the rationale as to why we're making these changes. So part of my job there is kind of just trying to identify any potential effects that changing the requirements will have to other requirements within the same document as well as other documents. So will changing one requirement affect how we verify another? And so that's really important for capturing in the TCB. Once we felt like we've understood all the changes within this group, it is my job to actually implement these changes, update the requirements in the model, and sync these changes over into JIRA. Output a new document and let everyone know of these updated changes. And then you take it back to creating test cases for it and trying to identify how we can verify these newly updated requirements. And so this has just been a brief overview of what I do for Rubin Observatory. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you.